blown away that you're all here. I know, like, all of you. So, thank you very much. This play was very hard to write. As Greg kind of mentioned, it's hard to get my own work moving with other things in life that need to happen. I think everybody who's an artist in some respect knows what I'm talking about.
Preach!
I'm thrilled to be able to offer this brand new play. This is a workshop production. That means the actors have scripts in their hands. We have taped the floor to give you a sense of the spaces of the play in the absence of a budget for set. We're working at a convention that if actors are in this space and then another actor is here, they can't see or hear each other. That might help you to follow what's going on. Also, please imagine that this up here is an amazing bed that is built out of a living olive tree. Envision the olive tree because this bed ends up being a very important part of the play. I want to thank, of course, all of you. You make it possible for me to do this, and it's completely an honor. Everybody in Parley who supports me and from whom I learn a great deal every single week. My actors, who are extraordinary and generous, and I feel very lucky to have them. And last, I want to thank my husband, Brandon, who is an actor in the show, and he is also the first audience of this play and of all of my work. This play in particular was written for him and because of him, and I hope you enjoy. Thanks so much.
Maiden Voyage by Rebecca Tourino Collinsworth. Prologue. 20 years before the play begins. Penelope and Melantho move slowly through a dark hallway.
The day he proposed, he took me to his family's estate. His parents had recently retired to a farmhouse on an adjoining acre, and he said, "All of this is mine, and when you marry me, it will be yours." His mother had raised him right, he said. He knew who really ran the household, and he winked at me. He spent the afternoon showing me around my domain, as he called it, and he kept asking me, "Do you like it?" There was a quiet old courtyard on the east side of the property where, in the afternoon light, the old stone turned mellow and coppery, and in the middle of the courtyard grew an ancient olive tree with leaves that scuttled like beetles when the wind blew, and a gnarled, muscular trunk. It had a majesty. It asserted to anyone who approached that although the courtyard had been built to contain it, it had failed.
An olive tree. Athena's tree, right?
Athena's tree. In retrospect, that tree might have told me all I needed to know about the sort of bride his family was praying for. Those who revere Athena don't brook the fallen.
Unless they fall in battle. Women fall between the sheets if we're to have any fun.
According to the gods, women fall by nature because they are women, but not Athena.
You mustn't feel inferior to a goddess born of a splitting headache.
She was expelled from Zeus's pounding skull fully formed. She never nursed from a woman's breast or toddled around a garden chasing butterflies. She arrived complete, motherless, chaste, armor-clad. Athena patron goddess of heroes, of female, no friend to a woman like me. I am not the hero that my husband is. My one resemblance to Athena was my chastity.
You have more in common with Athena than you imagine. That you remained chaste, at least, is to your credit. You accomplished that.
It was my parents' doing. I was bred chaste and accomplished. It was cultivated in me like a special strain of disease-resistant flora. Maybe that was enough for him, for his family. He seemed to think so. I spent a lot of time with the tree in the weeks leading up to the wedding. I liked it there, and of course, he saw that.
Of course.
And hatched a plan.
He's a planner.
He kept me away from his home for a fortnight before the ceremony. He cut back the foliage, raised the garden gate, and put up 4 walls. He left some of the tree intact, the roots still reaching into the old cracked slate, and built our marriage bed around it, with the trunk as one post at the head. He brought in a ceiling, and then he brought in me, and he asked me, "Do you like it?"
And you've never shown anyone?
No one knows it exists. It's private. If you're looking for private.
Low light reveals the olive tree bed. Melantho and Penelope enter the bedroom.
Am I doing the right thing? Don't answer that. I know it's the wrong thing.
You fell in love.
Oh, there's that word again. I fell, and now I'm falling again.
Perfect. I was his second choice, you know.
Who knows why they choose? They drew straws for me. What will you do tonight?
Feed the baby dinner. Pick the baby's dinner up off the floor, read him a book.
I'll be gone by 2.
Use that side door. How are you?
I can't tell if I'm frightened or excited. Thank you. Good night. I owe you so much.
Maybe I'm destined to play a supporting role in other people's stories.
You're a hero.
A hero needs a quest. The day I stepped into that courtyard, my fate was sealed. No quest for me.
Penelope, I reject your fatalism. Even you reject your fatalism.
We all believe what we must.
Then I believe we make our own fates. You helped me make mine, and I thank you. But if it goes wrong, I won't be blaming you. Or a goddess. Good riddance superstition. The old stories aren't so great. They were always as gruesome as they were pretty.
They were pretty because they were gruesome.
Maybe, but that doesn't make them any more true.
A myth doesn't have to be true to wield its power. Do you think she minded it? The tree being altered?
The tree?
Athena, when he altered her tree, cut it back, do you think she minded?
There is no Athena. You might as soon ask me if I minded it.
Well,
It wasn't my tree.
wasn't mine either, it was his. Everything on this estate is his.
Then does it matter?
bedroom, 20 years later.
The water is white, I can't cross o'er, and neither have I wings to fly. Give me a boat that will carry to. What news from university?
New students are required to live on campus as part of the first year experience.
The first year experience. It's all about to begin, isn't it?
It's not beginning, it's ending. I'm asked here to rank my housing preferences. Buxton Hall, Callahan. Buxton is for engineers specifically, but Callahan is co-ed. Which do you think? This may be your last moment of influence over me.
I suppose. Buxton?
Buxton it is.
I leaned my back up against some oak, thinking it was a trusty tree. But first he bended, then he broke. You were up too late again.
Couldn't help it. Her guests were drunk and loitering.
Weren't you among them? I'd hardly call them your mother's guests.
They're here for her.
They weren't invited.
She could get rid of them if she wanted to.
She is the cat's mother. Please address your mother properly.
My mother could get rid of her suitors if she wanted to.
Oh, yes? How?
By choosing one.
Which man would you have her choose?
Any man at all.
Liar.
So long as he's my father's equal.
You see the dilemma then. There's no comparing 2 men, let alone 10, if a woman loves one of them. If one loves, there can be no comparison.
Paris compared 3 goddesses and chose the most beautiful between them.
Paris didn't love any of them. And like most contests, the fix was in. Your mother doesn't mean to choose anyone. Not for a long while. Surely you've noticed she's working slowly on purpose. It's a serial, this novel. She can draw it out forever.
She is the cat's mother. So we're stuck with these suitors, is what you're saying?
Between a rock and a hard place, as the proverb says.
Oh, Scylla and Charybdis.
Why did your mother make those monsters female?
Did they not both try to swallow my father as he sailed between them? The monster and the whirlpool, fighting for the right to consume him?
All of the monsters in your mother's stories are female.
Polyphemus was male, the Cyclops.
He's the only exception I can think of so far, and they just released what? The 12th chapter?
I think it's fitting. Who but women compete so viciously?
It's men who want women to hate each other.
I have not known a woman who would not slap her own sister for my favor.
Young women are as stupid as young men. Buxton Hall might be more than you deserve, come to think of it.
Yes, ma'am. She thinks my father is dead.
Telemachus.
Pardon me, my mother thinks my father is dead. Isn't that so?
Read the manuscript.
She's writing fairy tales. You think I can't tell the difference?
She hasn't given up hope.
She has.
Those men are rubbing off on you.
No, ma'am.
You drank with them.
So?
It's becoming a habit. Your party's tomorrow. Do you plan to stay drunk right on through then?
I'm not drunk now.
And love's a jewel, at first it is new, but love grows old and lacks in.
You know, I could enlist. I could travel, rebuild their infrastructure, pave roads, lay bricks for schools. I'm told there aren't enough hands for all that needs doing.
Because all the men are in the ground, trod on by widows, or on the ocean floor, what's left of them. The sea bream in the fishermen's nets have been fat with the flesh of dead soldiers for years.
My father's still out on the water, or do you think he's fish food too?
Forgive me.
Always. They say there's still no indoor plumbing in much of the city.
Might an engineering degree help with that?
So the widows should squat in the dirt for 4 years while I sit in class? Antinous says that I should make myself useful right now.
Perhaps he should be digging latrines in Troy then. Those suitors are a useless lot, and Antinous chief among them. They're all praying you'll die before you come of age and inherit. Your mother didn't raise you alone just to lose another lovely young man across the water.
My mother didn't raise me alone. You were here.
Well, neither one of us has any intention of forfeiting you to the army.
I wouldn't be in harm's way, Melantho. The war is long over.
Oh, my goodness. You've never sounded younger.
So, you'd rather I go away to university? What's the difference where I go, so long as I'm off your hands?
Good point. Either way, I've got less folding to do. Go ahead to the army if it flips your skirts.
I don't wear skirts.
College turns a boy into a man while keeping his viscera inside his stomach.
There's more than one way to be eviscerated. You call me a boy, but I'm not a boy.
You're a fool.
Why do you disapprove of me?
The water is wide, I can't cross over. There's no true love, no, not for me. But I can't complain. My love was untrue, but I can't complain. Someday I hope to love again.
Melantho, I knew it. I thought we agreed you weren't going to do his laundry.
I don't mind it. Soon enough I won't be able to.
I stopped folding it years ago.
Years, was it?
Months, all right. Son, Melantho is not your washerwoman.
No, ma'am. She's yours.
She is not. Apologize. Pardon him, he's insolent.
Hungover. Those men last night. We can't go on this way much longer.
My wine cellar certainly can't. I don't think he realizes he's drinking his
He
inheritance.
just picked a fight with me. I don't even know what it was about.
He's been like that with everyone this week. He just needs his knob waxed. Don't look at me that way. You've seen that look in a young man.
Not for years, thankfully.
Telemachus will come around.
Oh, I'd forgotten. Teenage boys are beastly.
He's 20.
Emotionally, he's a teen.
He lacks practical experience. He needs out of here, somewhere his father's ghost isn't haunting every dock.
But his father's myth will follow him no matter how far he travels.
You mean the myth I created? Are you trying to say I made my bed?
We both know I made your bed.
You are not my servant. You never have been, and I wish that you wouldn't.
I'm saying that sending Telemachus away may not be the cure-all for what ails this household. If we could get rid of those jackals downstairs, we might have some peace.
I'd have to marry one of those jackals to be rid of the whole, what's it called? Herd, band, mob?
Pack.
Ha ha. So which would you choose if you were me?
Amphiminous?
Ah, his hands.
I don't know what that means.
Thick, slimy, soft. His fingers are like blocks of cheese.
Antinous?
Earwax. Tell me you haven't noticed. The man needs an ear enema.
Is that a thing?
It should be.
Laodes? At least you wouldn't have to wax his knob much.
Because Ctesippus wants to wax it. Why are we discussing wax again?
It keeps coming up.
Like Ctesippus's prick. It's like a candle bobbing in a water barrel.
I don't think he wears underwear.
We've got to get Telemachus out of this house.
What about Phemius?
He works with me.
But you don't mind him. I'm not talking about marriage. How about Mentor?
What?
Marry Mentor. Mentor's your man.
What is he, 80?
Exactly. He's bound to die in a year or two.
Phemius. He's 10 years my junior.
Younger men have their charms. You've been absent from your writing desk many a night these past weeks. I assumed you've been pursuing companionship. How could anyone begrudge you? You've waited so long.
I've made a career of it. I'm the wife who waits.
It could have been worse. You could have been the whore of the war.
I could have. Any of us could.
Surely you've earned the right to enjoy yourself a little.
I'd be ruined.
Only if someone found out. I can keep a secret, you know.
Oh, I know. Do you miss companionship, Ben?
Most of me doesn't. My neck does. Right here. Not even a kiss. The moment right before a kiss, that tickle of warm breath,
Oh.
that's all.
What am I going to do?
You helped me, Pen. I'll help you.
My son is clever like his father was. I can't hide it for long, not with him around. We've raised a little man, Melantho. He's becoming a stranger to me.
All men are strangers to me.
When his father was young, he had this way of, that man could wring me out like a washcloth. Good hands.
He told me you think his father's dead.
My poor boy.
Could it be you're both ready at last?
Well, maybe it's time for all of us to move on. You think Telemachus is old enough to accept the truth?
I think he might accept yours if you can accept his. He doesn't want to go away to school.
He fears leaving the nest.
He's threatening the army.
An empty threat. He's testing to see what you'll do.
I'm not so sure.
He's been doing that around you for a few years now.
He's practicing, I suppose.
Practicing.
It's innocent.
I should hope so.
Believe me, I'm well acquainted with the difference.
You want Telemachus to stay.
I want him to have what he wants. If he stays, he can become your guardian when he's of age.
My son deserves more than managing his mother's affairs.
You wouldn't have to remarry.
With every season Telemachus remains at home, his potential withers. Talk to Mentor. He'll tell you that caring for a young person means allowing him to leave you.
If he wants to.
No, if it's time. You have influence with him. We both know it.
Penelope, I would never dream of...
Not on purpose, I know.
My days of laying waste to men are long gone.
You are still so beautiful. I don't know that you can help it.
I swear I am no threat to him or to you.
Madam,
Phemius.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Not at all. We were just discussing the young master. Do you have something for me?
A message from Sparta. Menelaus renews his search for Helen.
After all these years.
Maybe he's feeling nostalgic. He still mourns his brother's murder.
He's not alone.
No, he's not.
Clytemnestra mourns.
Does she? Do murderers mourn?
Clytemnestra is my cousin. She also lost a daughter.
Yes, I beg your pardon.
You doubt she mourns? Soldiers murder and mourn.
Well, men in battle kill out of a necessity anyone can understand. When a woman kills, it's a rejection of nature itself.
Dead children, dead husbands, dead concubines. We live to mourn, or mourn to live.
Maybe it's the payment the gods demand for our lives.
The gods, Melantho.
You used to believe. You believed when I did not.
Phemius, what does this announcement have to do with me?
Menelaus hopes to finally put the war behind him. He wishes to reconcile with Helen, if she lives. He asks for your blessing and your help.
Tell him I'm at his service. Thanks, Phemius.
Certainly.
Penelope, I'll do anything. Please, anything, please. Just don't.
Come, stand up. Stand up.
I'm sorry, just don't send me back.
Darling, you've got nothing to worry about.
Don't send me back.
Scene 2, very early the next morning.
It's all right to rest. I won't fall asleep on you.
You goose, you're already in dreamland.
Just a cat nap. Don't get up yet.
We can't both fall asleep.
Come here. 5 minutes. Close your eyes.
My eyes are staying open, thank you.
You don't trust me?
Women don't rest.
Guilty conscience?
Too much to see to.
Hmm.
Do you believe your mother ever truly rested? She kept you blissfully in the dark.
I'd like you to keep me blissfully in the dark. Calypso.
We've got about 4 more minutes for that. Do you? See me in Calypso then?
I see you in every beautiful and bewitching character you invent. She got him by weaving cloth, and you got me by weaving stories.
Calypso sings as she weaves.
So do you.
I can't carry a tune.
Not so. See? It's like hypnosis. I'm useless.
I hold you prisoner.
You must know the power you hold over me. I'm lucky you use it for good. So soon, my love.
I must stop doing this.
You've said so before.
I can't continue this deception.
Then let's end it. Surely we can end it.
This? Us?
No, Calypso. The story. How much more is there to write? We can leave this place together, you and me. How much more?
Not much, really.
What does that mean? How much?
I've been deceiving you.
Every man dreams of his lover saying those words.
I've already written the ending several times over. I've been writing on my own for some time now.
When? I'm here every day.
At night.
Why? Why keep this from me?
You wouldn't like what I've been doing.
Have I worn out my welcome?
No!
Then show me the drafts.
I will, the ones I still have.
To whom have you given them? Who's been reading them?
No one. Honestly. I've been hiding them. Melantho was locking them in a drawer, and the drawer filled up, and we've been destroying the excess.
How?
We burned them. I can't finish, you see? Everything would change, and not for the better.
A less patient man might think you're stalling.
Of course, I'm stalling. I have hypnotized the world. They confuse my myths with truth. They don't care about facts anymore, not as long as they're assured of the next chapter. Not while I keep them safe, in the conviction that he's out there and I still wait for him, then all is right with their world.
You don't have to lie to be loved.
We lie to those we love all the time. My son, for one, needs me to wait. He still hopes for his father's return.
Are you certain? Telemachus is a grown man.
I have written my son, the only father that he's ever known or is likely to know. I have used stories to father him in place of the real man, a man I hardly remember. The real husband seems like an illusion to me. The husband I made feels more
Why do you resist
real.
speaking his name to me?
Don't
Shall I say it out loud?
Patronize me.
Odysseus.
Not with you! His name echoes through every chamber of my life!
He's not a god. If anyone's the god here, you are. You began the story, you can end it, and the world can bloody well deal with it. You know, you could have ended the book. You could have ended the book without all this secret night writing. You could have ended it with the sirens.
I knew you didn't like chapter 12.
I love sirens. So they set their ravishing voices out across the air, and the heart inside me throbbed to listen longer.
Then tell me the problem.
You're weakening the story the longer you spin it out.
I see. You love the sirens. It's the Thrinakian episode you didn't like. You see, I can read you too. What's wrong with it?
It's redundant. Odysseus and his men stop on the island of the sun god Helios. Odysseus is warned not to kill and eat the sun god's cattle, and his men end up doing that very thing. I mean, have you not written this before? Weak, hapless men that founder when faced with an irresistible but deadly temptation. The bag of winds, the lotus eater, Circe's animal potions.
Maybe it's a recurring theme.
Maybe you're treading water. How could you hide this from me?
I told you I can't end the book. Besides, my structure is tale within a tale. There can be no ending until he reaches Scheria and finishes telling his story to the Phaeacians.
Is that going to happen at some point? Or is Calypso lulling me to
I
sleep?
think Nausicaa is falling in love with him.
There isn't a creature within 100 miles of the man who hasn't fallen in love with him. He's just that dreamy.
He won't sleep with her. He'll pine for his wife and son and beg to be given safe passage back home.
And then? Do the Phaeacians help him? I assume you've already written it.
They do.
So you're bringing him back to our shore then? After 19 years, they lived happily ever after? I want you, Penelope. I love you.
It's a quarter to 5.
When will I become a part of your story?
Phemius, there is a pack of men waiting for me to end the manuscript so they can marry me and seize my husband's estate.
They're overmatched and you know it. Mix your magic potion and turn them all into the pigs they actually are.
You're flattering me.
You mistake love for flattery.
I wouldn't be the first.
Flattery is what those pigs do. Come with me. Let them take the estate. You have your own money, don't you?
A little.
And more coming as soon as your epic winds down?
The estate isn't mine to give, it's my son's.
Well, if you continue entertaining their suits for another year, there won't be an estate left for Telemachus to inherit.
I won't abandon my home to those vultures, and I can't bear to marry one.
And marry me. I'll protect the inheritance. You've raised your son. In a week, he'll be leaving for university. No more secrets. Nothing to hide. We can be together openly.
My husband is dead.
Penelope, will you have me?
I'm a widow.
Penelope.
Yes. I've written her as my husband's protector.
Well, I'll wager you've already solved that problem.
It's Poseidon. He's never been appeased for his son's blinding.
Well, your Poseidon has the advantage over Athena. Odysseus must travel home by sea. Tell me.
In a new ship, staffed with Phaeacian sailors and coffers bursting with treasures, Odysseus sets out to reach Ithaca a final time.
Yes?
Poseidon visits Zeus, demanding justice for the Cyclops. Reluctantly, Zeus consents in spite of Athena. Poseidon wreaks his last revenge, a massive storm. The Phaeacians' ship splinters, and the sailors and the hero are swallowed up at last by the sea. Their watery burials a just repayment for the countless brutal actions of cruel and careless men.
You're brilliant. So ends the Odyssey.
Scene 3, the bedroom, late that night.
A moment. Just a moment.
Do you need to lie down?
No, there's something I
Let's
want.
get a light at least.
There's
I'll do fires for you.
Thank you. Sorry.
Enjoying the festivities?
I'm gonna miss you.
I'll miss you too.
Listen to me. Listen.
I'm listening.
I don't want to leave before.
Well, that's natural for someone your age.
Before I-
It's difficult to leave your home.
No.
Let's go back to the party.
There's something I'm trying to.
I know.
You know? You're not listening. You're so beautiful. But that's not.
You've drunk too much.
You don't have to be scared. I know something happened to you. She doesn't. She won't ever let me hear what she never tells me. But
Your mother?
my mother. My mother. Do you know my mother?
Yes, we've met.
I'm sorry. I drank too much. It's made me too stupid. I wanted to say to you, I'm not going to school.
No? Your guests are in for a disappointment. You're not leaving?
No, I am leaving. I'm going somewhere they can't find me.
What? Where? What about your mother?
She'll be all right. She can always write a book about it.
Telemachus, you can't do that to her. She can't lose you. It would be cruel to abandon us that way.
That's why. Listen to me. Not you. It's a secret. I go. I send for you. You meet me there.
Where? Never mind.
It's a secret.
By morning you will have forgotten all of this.
No, I won't. No one will hurt you ever again.
Telemachus, this is...
Huh? Oh, wait, get out! The party is private! Get out! Get out of my house!
Penelope lives here, doesn't she? And her son?
Not her son. Not anymore.
Where is she?
It's time to go. You're not safe.
What?
Phemius, send the guests away, and then leave yourself.
Melantho? I was dreaming.
All is well. Your fathers, come home.
Scene 4. The bedroom, an hour later.
Ah, our son. Our son is a grown man.
Who can't hold his liquor?
I hardly recognized him.
He leaves for university in a few days. Melantho will be back for it later. She's seeing to Telemachus. It's you. It's really you. I can hardly believe my eyes.
You look the same as the day I married you.
Your eyes deceive you.
You look at me the same, as if I made the world. And you kept our bed intact. This room is like you. This room will always be the heart of our home. Even while I was gone, I still felt you inside me, at my heart. I hope you put that in your book. Your book, the one you're writing about me.
You've read it.
Parts I could get my hands on. Have you finished the final chapters?
I've been waiting
For what?
to find out how it ends. Yes.
The guests have all gone.
What were they told?
That Telemachus is ill and contagious. Phemius made the excuses. He's forbidden any suitors from the estate for 3 days. Phemius is gone too.
And Telemachus?
Sleeping it off.
Thank you.
Pardon me.
Yes, sir. More?
No, thank you.
There's plenty of food. I can bring you some.
No, I'm going to bed, but you can take this with you.
You're tired, of course. The house becomes so quiet after a party. Once the news of your homecoming gets out, you'll forget what quiet is. You'll have a parade. Multiple parades, most likely. You're famous.
You're famous. I was dead till an hour ago. What did you call her? The maid. What was that name you called her?
That's Melantho.
What is she doing here?
I don't understand.
I didn't recognize my son. My son was an infant when I left, but she was already a grown woman. The most beautiful woman in the world? She doesn't
You're
look exactly the
mistaken.
same, but
I can fire her if you want.
no. You promised me, and I promised him.
It's been 20 years.
I promised Menelaus that after the war he'd return home to his wife. How long has he been home?
I don't know.
Years. His brother is dead, his countrymen are dead, his closest friend presumed dead. His life is a shambles, all because of her, his wife.
She hasn't been his wife for a very long time. If I send her back to him, he will kill her.
Nonsense. He still loves her.
He already tried to kill her once. Then he followed her lover to Troy with an army. It took them 10 years, but they finally put Paris in the ground. He'll kill her!
Kill her? Likely bet her. After all that was and all that is, your Melantho, no, Helen. Your precious Helen of Sparta still won't deign to lie still and close her eyes. Not for the thousands of boys who died defending her honor, for the impoverished widows, the slaughtered innocents, for the fallen country, for the husband who spent a decade soaked in blood to win her back.
He didn't win her back.
Apparently not.
She was never gone. We were both right here where you left us. Helen never went to Troy.
No, I did. To fight another man's war.
She spent the first year virtually mute. Our baby learned to talk before she did. The scars didn't begin to fade for 2 more
Have
years.
them too. From the war. So that he could have her back. If she was never going back, what was the point? He could have killed her that night and no one would have blamed him. His only weakness was always trusting me and in loving her. He loves her still.
Is it possible you've forgotten what love is? I will not betray my friend.
So I must betray mine, the man who fought beside me, who saved my life. 10 long years, Penelope.
10, you say? You've been gone nearly 20. You made me such a fool! Where were you? Where were you? Say something!
I can't. I was lost.
You left me alone. I thought you were dead.
I thought so too, my love. But I'm alive. I'm alive and I've come to set the world right again.
Scene 5. The next morning.
Coffee? Yes?
No, please. Don't. I'll get it.
Suit yourself. First, help me with the table.
Are we redecorating? Who moved all the furniture?
We cleared the floor last night for the dancing, remember? Your party?
I remember the party. I don't remember dancing.
You didn't dance.
And yet I still feel humiliated.
Fetch me one more chair. They'll be down soon.
Did you hear what I said?
Heracles, I said one.
Why? There are 4 of us now.
Oh, I'm not staying.
Oh, please.
Coffee.
I said I would get the coffee. You won't leave me alone with them. You won't do that to me.
He's your father. She's your mother. You're their son. Who am I?
You're who you've always been. Melantho, last night.
No. You'll make it worse. Drink this.
What will I talk with him about?
I'll be in the kitchen.
Please.
You'll be fine. Just remember your sirs and ma'ams, your pleases and thank yous. You're quite an impressive man when you want to be. Your forehead's hot. And your hands, are you actually ill?
No, I don't think so.
They're too warm.
I can't think. I can't think straight with you touching me. This is strange. Please don't leave. I want you to stay here with me, even though I don't know how to be around you now. I've ruined everything.
Telemachus.
I can still taste you. Pardon me. Oh, sir, we were.
Good morning, sir.
I seem to have a knack for intruding.
You haven't intruded, sir.
There's coffee.
Melantho brought in some coffee.
I thought so. I followed my nose
Well,
downstairs.
you're welcome to it, sir. This is your home.
Yes, thanks.
Melantho. That's her name, sir?
Oh, of course, Melantho. How nice to make your acquaintance in the daylight.
Coffee?
I've got some, thanks.
I meant for your father.
Of course!
Would you have some, sir?
I can't refuse. The morning air is redolent
With the coffee scent?
with something.
Let me do it. Please, sit down. Sugar, sir?
You can call me Father, Telemachus. I want you to. I missed my opportunity to hear it last night. I've missed a lifetime of chances. I won't miss another.
Father.
There, that's better. You've become so... I am overwhelmed, son. You dazzle me. No, Melantho. Telemachus doesn't want you to wait on me. Besides, you're no servant in this household. Anyone can see that.
I'll do it.
Think I can't do it myself? Sailors don't put on airs. You are radiant.
Good morning.
Indeed. Look at this fine young man.
Have you managed to hold on to the contents of your stomach so far?
For now, he hasn't eaten yet.
He skipped supper yesterday. He'll need to eat something.
My head aches, ma'am. That's all.
Sweetheart, what's troubling you? You're flushed. Does he look feverish to you?
You think he's coming down with something?
Feel, you see?
I am not a child.
Yes.
And I'm not ill.
My goodness! His pulse is about to push right through
Are you
his skin.
listening to me? Stop fussing.
He's overwhelmed. It's understandable.
Let me be both of you.
With all the excitement last night.
Perhaps you should slow down on the coffee then.
Enough!
Quit conspiring over there, you two.
Well then.
Leave my son alone.
I'll check on breakfast, ma'am. Shall I?
Yes, thank you. Phemius will be on his way.
You're a assistant?
He helps me write most mornings.
What will you write then? What happens next?
In the story?
Your masterpiece, yes.
I can't imagine. I'll have to throw out that ending I was drafting.
The one where you killed me?
Phemius and I have a lot to sort out.
Well, you'll need a place to work.
We'll use my study.
You have a study?
With the room off the back hallway. Your
My den, yes. So you've taken it over. Have you changed it?
Your map's still a door in the walls.
I love that room.
We don't have to use it. We can work anywhere, really. We can work here.
Shall I clear out then?
In a bit.
Well, don't be too long.
3, 4 hours at most.
That's half the day. I've only just arrived. Oh, all right. Don't worry, there's plenty for me to do. I'll get reacquainted with our son.
Thank you.
Of course. How can one woman's kiss be so beguiling?
Sir?
Well, you're acquainted with the hazards of a kiss, I think. A kiss can drown a man faster than a whirlpool. You know. Melantho, she cares for you.
I think she did care for me somewhat when I was a boy. No longer.
You misunderstand. She cares for you, son, and you care for her. That first kiss, that first taste, relish that. It can't be repeated. Only be sure you don't drown.
Don't tell my mother, please. She wouldn't like it.
We're of one accord there. Women don't like to share. Those two have been competing since they were girls.
Melantho didn't grow up here.
No, she grew up in Sparta. But everyone knew her.
Who?
Oh, she was beautiful, beautiful. You've seen how men worship beauty. From Aphrodite's temples, the constant stench of storax burning.
We aren't devout, you know.
But you yourself worship beauty. All men do. Aphrodite was concocted to sedate men. We invented her to convince ourselves that perfect beauty could not belong to any one of us here on earth. She was just a girl then. Not much older than you.
You're speaking of Melantho.
Oh, no one knew her as Melantho.
I'm sorry, I don't.
Her name was Helen. Daughter of Tyndareus and Leda, sister of Clytemnestra and those oddball twins. Yes, that Helen.
What?
I told you everyone knew her, or thought they did. We stood in a line vying for her. She and her father passing us one by one. Tyndareus kept saying, "Do you like him? Do you like him?" Like she was choosing between rams to slaughter for a festival. Oh, we all wanted her. But some didn't have the means. Well, I didn't. I had only my wits, and by my wits I devised a plan. Her father feared bloodshed, that rejected suitors that would become his enemies, so I made them all promise. Anyone who failed would swear an oath never to challenge the man who won her, but instead to defend that rightful marriage to the death. And such a prize she was, we knew she'd need defending. Helen went to my friend Menelaus. Tyndareus used his influence to win from his niece. Your mother. Not a bad outcome, perfect beauty or not. Wits will get you farther than fortune every time, son. Menelaus was rich, but his fortune still went bad. Now, that bed upstairs, the one that I built, that's where young Helen took her lover for trysts. It seems your mother had taken pity on Helen in Paris. She had her own kind as women often do. Menelaus found out, took my hammer, entered the bedroom, and he caved in Helen's beautiful head with one blow. He bludgeoned her, although she didn't die. Steady, son. This was 20 years ago.
You spent a decade by his side.
It kept your Melantho safe, didn't it? Paris fled to Troy, and I spread rumors that he'd abducted Helen.
No, Helen went to Troy.
No. Your mother kept Helen here in hiding under a different name. Nursed her back to health while Menelaus, Agamemnon, and I took armies to to Troy to punish Paris.
Left me fatherless to cover up his sin?
Not just his sin, son! I swore an oath!
You started a war based on lies!
That's the nature of war, you're not so naive.
Steady!
I'll
steady like a
How many
fish.
young men do you think that Menelaus has slaughtered on this battlefield?
I don't care!
No, he won't have you, do you hear me? Use your wits, son! Something momentous is coming. You don't have to visit an oracle to see that. Menelaus, Clytemnestra, and the rest of that accursed house of Atreus will not infect my family's future. We must consider our next move carefully. No one yet knows that I'm back. And your mother and I have decided, for the time being, to keep it that way. Why? Well, your mother's famous. Look, there she is. There will be people who want that information. There will be questions, and we're not ready for that. Your mother and I must come to an accord, and that, son, takes patience.
Are you at odds already?
We are, yes, somewhat.
Over what?
Over your Melantho, you see. Menelaus wants his wife back. No! He won't have you, do you hear me? I loved him. He was my friend, but I love him more. He won't have you. You must not give us away. No one can know I'm here. No rash moves, Telemachus. We must keep our heads for the good of our household, our homeland, our broken world. All of the world knew of Helen's beauty, and all the world longed for her kisses. Now all the world knows of your mother's stories, and they want more and more. They will always want more. And women will oblige more than they should. You've grown up among great women, Telemachus, but as great as they are, they're just as treacherous. Their kisses, the tales they tell, what they do with their mouths can ruin us. This is a burden that we share. We must never open our eyes nor our beds and leave our wits behind. So let this be a new oath between us, here and now, my magnificent son. We will protect what's ours. Will you swear it?
I will.
End of Act 1. Act 2, Scene 1. The morning room, that same day.
When I didn't hear from you, I was worried.
How could I stay away? What happened?
I asked Melantho to move the work here. Do you mind?
Oh, I didn't know. I went to the study first. Suppose we never made much of an impression on that room. You'd think we'd never been in there at all.
It's just a room. This estate has many. If it was like this one, actually, it'd get so much light.
So, what now?
Where should we begin? Can't be the ending.
No?
My husband's not dead. No more treading water, as you say. I need to finish the book.
Well, you might begin by finding out where the man's been.
We know where Odysseus has been. Troy, the Aegean Sea, the Island of the Winds, Thrinakia.
You're mocking me?
No. I know where my Odysseus has been, and that's all I need to end the story.
You're Odysseus.
This Odysseus. You know what I mean.
You intend to propagate this fantasy.
It's always been a fantasy. In that respect, nothing's changed.
Did you ask him?
What?
Did you ask him for an explanation?
He returned last night. It was very late. I began my work at
And
dawn.
it slipped your mind?
And we haven't been alone since he rose this morning.
You haven't brought it up.
Currently, I have higher priorities.
What could be more important, Penelope? Before you allowed that man's foot on your slate doorstep.
His
doorstep, his bedroom, his den. And he came through the side door, the same one you've been using.
Don't compare me with him.
I'm not. I couldn't. I've been writing this book for years, day and night. It's the only thing that has ever really belonged to me. My body hasn't always been mine, but this book has. I am a knife's edge from finishing. And it could all be taken away from me. I must finish. You wanted me to finish. Give me a few days.
Are we ending, Penelope?
Give me one day then, today and tonight.
Penelope!
I don't know.
Because he's here.
Because of what I've become.
You know, your son's inheritance is safe now. You can leave with me.
How? Everyone, everywhere knows who I am. You and I have seen to that. I can't run away and hide. I don't even know that I want to. Everything I've achieved is contingent upon Odysseus, my husband. I can't marry you, Phemius. I'm already married.
Did you go to bed with him last night?
Why must it come down to this between us?
Does it matter whether he had you last night? Well, let's see. Did he?
He's my husband.
There is a ship, and she sails the sea. She's loaded deep as can be, but not so deep as in love I'm in. I know not how I sink or swim. The water is wide, I can't cross over, and neither have
Why do
I.
you sing such a sad song?
It's neither happy nor sad. My mother used to sing it.
She's beautiful. Your mother?
Last I heard. Also clever, gentle, angry, more than I'll ever know. I suppose we can't ever know our parents. They're like the gods that way. They hide from us. That's why we obey them. The instant we know them fully, we lose our faith.
They say your mother lay with Zeus to conceive you.
So you found me out, have you? Do you believe it?
Believe what?
What they say about my mother?
Do you?
That a god turned himself into a swan and raped my mother who was already married? If that story kept my father from stoning my mother for adultery, then I say yes, I'm Zeus's daughter. What will you do now that you know who I am?
I know more than that. I know what happened to you. I've known for a long time that something happened.
For how long?
Maybe 2 years?
2 years isn't long.
Ever since Menelaus returned home, you've seemed... But even before that, I wondered. Maybe some part of me always knew. The scars are hardly visible. A little around the forehead. Is that why you wear your hair this way? You're still the most beautiful woman on earth, Helen.
Don't call me that. Telemachus, wait. Your father told you.
Yes?
Yes, and what is he planning to do?
You don't have to worry.
It's happening.
My father wants to protect you. You, me, my mother, all of us.
What does that mean?
We are figuring that out. Slow down. You're not listening.
I won't go back to him.
That will not happen.
I'll die first. Do you hear me? I'll end my own life!
Don't talk that way. We can do whatever we want. We don't need anyone's consent. We can leave. Just like we spoke of. Let me take care of you.
You can't!
Who says so? I'm resolved. It's as good as done. But see here, I won't go anywhere without you. You have to come with me.
No, no, no! Forgive me?
Always.
It's not possible.
Why not? Give me a reason.
There are 100 reasons. The fact that you don't perceive any of them is the most damning reason of all.
Melantho, you want me. I know that you
I
do.
don't.
You're lying. I felt you tremble, your breath quicken, your mouth heat up, just like any woman I've ever known that way. I'm not the naif you take me for. You want me.
Of course I want someone to touch me, Telemachus. I want so much more than you can possibly understand.
So then let me
Stop
be that.
talking. You disrespect me. Yes, I'm like all women. I'm flesh and bone like anyone, like your mother. And now I've waited even longer than she has. You'll have to pardon us both, our humanity.
I'm sorry, how does my mother come into this?
Sex, Telemachus. Your mother has sex.
Thanks, I've surmised as much. My father's come home.
You're being obtuse. That's not what I...
You've betrayed a confidence.
No.
You have.
Please leave me.
So, there it is. Of course, she's been shaming me.
Don't call your mother shame.
So all the stories of her famous fidelity are lies? And the stories of your duplicity might be truer than anyone realized. You've been helping her hide it?
Your mother helped me once.
Yes, to great effect. Have you not had your fill of destruction? Must your appetites lay waste to another generation of men?
I'm not a goddess, no matter what you've heard. I never claimed to be blameless. I'm only
A woman! A woman of flesh and bone who needs to be touched.
You wrong me, but I have not wronged you.
No. Not me. Anyone but me. I will gladly carry the distinction of being the only man between 16 and 60 you won't fuck. Except your husband. You know, I'm starting to realize how you gained your reputation, Helen.
Where's that?
Phemius. I sent him away. I told him I needed time alone to craft the new ending.
Do you? Need time alone?
I can't finish my work with you in the room.
Perhaps you can't finish your work at all.
Oh, I will. It's time I'm done with this. Give me a day and a night, that's all I need.
I don't doubt your ability. Your haste concerns me, though.
Nothing pertaining to my book should concern you, my husband.
Your book concerns me, as in it matters to me, also that I matter to it, that I am the matter of your book. What will happen once that ending's published? Have you thought that far ahead? Once that Odysseus, the one on those pages, returns, the world will seek me here. Menelaus will come calling. He'll publicly enlist my help in the search for his wife.
He couldn't dream of. Surely you have paid that debt.
I wish it were so. I made an oath. I paid and paid. I still pay, and I'll continue to pay until Helen is back home.
This is her home.
If Menelaus finds her living under my roof, he'll cut our throats. The end of your book, the announcement of my homecoming, could start another war.
Men start wars, Odysseus, not books. We can discuss this when I'm finished, but I need to concentrate on this Odysseus for the time being.
We'll discuss it now.
Will we?
Yes. We can't hide her forever, Penelope. Why keep her here?
Because Because she lives here.
Why not send her away? You've more than done your duty for her.
Melantho's not a duty. She's my friend.
Well, she can't continue to stay here. It's too dangerous.
What makes you think she'll be any safer somewhere else?
I don't give a damn about her safety. We'll be safer. Our son will be safer.
Telemachus won't be here. He'll be at university.
Not if Helen has anything to say about it.
Call her Melantho, please.
How long has she had our son in thrall? Twice I've caught them together.
They get along. They're often together.
He's kissed her. I've seen it.
When? In the last 12 hours? That's how long you've been here drawing your conclusions. Don't trouble yourself. I've got it in hand.
By the looks of my estate, you've been too busy writing your stories to protect my assets, let alone my son. You know what she does to men.
I know what men do to her, what they've always done. One abducted her as a child to make a pennant of her virginity.
You mean Theseus? You're litigating my point for me. She was always too keen.
She wasn't keen. She was 11. By 13, she was fending off suitors by the dozen.
Oh, what a hardship to be desired by men of wealth and reputation.
At 15, her father sold her into marriage to the highest bidder. You had a hand in that, I think.
It's how I got you. After all these years, you still can't bear the fact that I wanted her first.
I don't envy her. I never have.
She played us like fiddles. She was worshipped by every marriageable male on earth, and all the while she was spreading her knees for the Trojan prince.
You forget who you're talking to. You created this lie.
Oh, so you only approve of the lies you spread. I may have created a lie, wife, but you published it, made it pretty. Made me pretty as well, and made yourself rich doing it. Why do you envy Helen? You're the same.
What are...
People read your book, believing that in consuming it, they're consuming me, when in reality, they consume you. Hold you open, finger your edges, have you, turn the page, have you again, and eventually abandon you on a shelf.
You are in a cruel mood today.
Yours was the first cruelty. You loaned out our bed. You gave the bed I made you to that whore. And now she's got our son.
She had sex with one man who's not her husband. You and your friend have slaughtered thousands, but you're better than her? She has been here with me for 20 years. Where have you been?
I won't account for myself to you.
I am owed an explanation!
In my home, while you throw parties and sit on my chairs eating my food, you are owed? You are entitled to nothing.
The war came and went. 9 years. During the 10th, men started to trickle home. They visited us here, battered but victorious, and their voices grew hoarse, singing your praises. Brave Odysseus, wily Odysseus, our brilliant and valorous general. My ears couldn't get enough. Our 10-year-old boy watched the horizon daily. A year went by, another. I heard each sailor's account of his journey. Horrors that awaited in the open water, food stores that ran out. All swore that valiant Odysseus was the most able mariner they'd ever seen. All swore to Telemachus he was bound to witness your return. But his faith faltered Odysseus. He began to lose hope. So I told him stories. Against his growing despair, I invented a litany of fantastical obstacles that were keeping his father from him. I refused to give in to my dread. No, you were coming. You longed for us. You were always on your way. Only a Cyclops could delay you so long. Only a sorceress who held you prisoner, a vengeful god, a whirlpool.
You don't know war. The war was enough.
What?
The war was enough. It devoured me, Penelope. The gnawing and the squealing, endless. The war swallowed my honor, my sense. When I think of it, I can't speak. You have so many words, Penelope, and now you want mine, but you haven't seen what I've seen. You haven't done what I've done. I have no more for you, not on that subject. My excuses were eaten up long ago.
You say you were on purpose.
Not at first. I had bad luck on the sea. It's true, I did. By the time the scavengers lifted me from the sea, I looked nothing like that man the sailors described. I found myself by grace alive on a remote shore, found I preferred being remote. Changed my name like a Melantho, drank a lot.
Were you true?
True?
Were you faithful?
No.
Scene 2. The morning room. Very late that night.
You should be sleeping. You need rest.
Shouldn't you be in bed with my father?
Are you feeling any better? I want you in good health before you leave. What is it?
I'm not leaving. I'm not going to university.
When did you decide this?
Last month? Last week? Today? Does it matter?
We've talked this through. It's a big change, I know.
It's one of many. University isn't the only change, whether I go or not.
That's true. Can you believe this is happening?
No, I can't. Everything's different.
Change travels in flocks, like birds. Telemachus, I'm paying for your education.
With my
because I
father's
believe
money.
it's what's
Father
best
wants
for
me
you.
here whether you do or not.
Go back, what was that?
Father wants me home.
Of course he wants to keep you close, so do I. But what your father and I want can't matter most when it comes
What
to...
about what I want?
Your father agrees with me, Telemachus.
I wasn't under the impression that you'd asked him.
Your father knows what duty is. Parents grow accustomed to sacrificing short-term desires.
Have you put those aside? My father's sacrificed. I don't see how much more one man can give up.
Well, the sacrifices have been profound for both of us.
What have you sacrificed for me, Mother? What pleasures have you foregone on my behalf?
Sacrifice isn't merely a postponement of pleasure.
You don't appear to be postponing anything. You appear to do exactly as you please.
Sacrifice costs. Do you somehow doubt that I'll miss you when you go? Don't. Your leaving will break my heart.
Your heart looks intact from here.
You are not looking closely enough. The day you swam out of my womb, the pain was unearthly, unnatural, at least not nature as I knew it. It turned out nature was as cruel as it was beautiful. So much pain just to make more of us. That's when I learned that blessings and sacrifices travel together.
Like your flock of changes.
I'll miss you so much. One day, when you were 4, you became enraged with me. I don't recall why I'd forbidden you a sweet. And I opened my arms to comfort you, and your little jaws bit into my breast, turned the skin there purple and then green for weeks. Did I love you any less for hurting me? If possible, son, I loved you more. Every step that you've taken, every inch you've grown, each day your soft features hardened into manhood has left its mark on me. I don't regret the pain. I turned my insides out to bring you here, knowing that I would lose you bit by bit, and it is no error that it should be so.
You don't wish me gone?
I wish you the world. And to make sure you'll have it, I will bear the loss. Your life is yours, son, not mine, not your father's. Please don't imagine that I lack love in urging you to go.
You love my father?
What?
Your husband, do you love him?
Yes.
You do.
I've missed your father for, I think I miss him still sometimes.
What will happen between you?
I don't think that I can discuss that with you.
You won't discuss your relationship with my father.
No, Telemachus, my marriage is private.
Since when? You've turned my whole life into gossip and now you expect privacy?
Yes.
You sound so certain.
I am.
You're awfully skilled at that.
Certainty?
Lying. You keep lying to me, lying to everyone.
What are you
It's
trying
a lot of lying, I know. Past a certain point, it's hard to keep track.
Anything that I've ever kept from you
Don't.
has been
Please,
for your own-
don't! Are you waiting for me to say it? You lied!
Excuse yourself, son. I'm asking you to leave. I'll rise on my own.
You betrayed me and my father.
I haven't betrayed you.
Yes? What is it, son?
Leave the light out.
What is it?
I have to tell you something.
All right, you can tell me, son. You're,
I hit her.
who?
She's been lying to us.
Son.
Don't. No, please, I can't say.
Hold him. Lift him up.
beg for your life.
Please. Phila! No! No!
No! Damn you, hold him!
Stop! Stop! Mother!
Odysseus!
With him, Penelope!
You're home. You've won. And will you prolong the war more? Shed no more blood in your house. Let it end. No one is fighting you.
He came into our bedroom!
He wants more than he has. This war has made us into barbarians. It has leveled us all.
I thought you had gotten rid of it. Where's Helen?
Her name's Melantho.
You should have gotten rid of it.
It's a tool.
Do you know
A weapon.
he wanted to use my knife that night? He would have cut out her giblets and trussed her had I not intervened.
You told Menelaus she was here with Paris. You did? That's how he knew?
Told him? I gave him the hammer and your Helen kept her life.
Melantho.
You want to check him? Do. Did I do him in?
Can you hear me?
I can't see.
Stop. For once, just stop.
Oh, God, please.
Not God. No God.
Melantho.
No matter what you do, I won't go back.
Scene 3. The following morning.
I'm going away.
Where?
It doesn't matter. Take me with you, son. I can't. I'm going alone. No, take me with you. I'm newly awake. What's happened? My mother finished her book. She must have sent the final chapters to press before dawn. And I'm a murderer. A hangman of handmaidens.
I don't understand.
See for yourself. Goodbye. I'll do that, Mother. May I pour you some? earn your love again.
Love's not something you can earn.
Forgive me, please. You finished it. A day and a night, just like you said. I read the ending. It's remarkable, Mother. I don't know how you do what you do. It's preternatural, divine. What is it?
Don't worship me, Telemachus. Don't replace one god with another.
I'm not.
You called me superhuman. You diminish my sacrifices when you do. What it cost? What it still costs. Besides, in making yourself a supplicant, you deny yourself the opportunity to match me.
How could I possibly match you? You saw me last night. I couldn't even use my fists. You wrote a massacre. Odysseus and Telemachus, pitiless, knee-deep in the blood of our enemies. Your suitors. How many suitors?
108. I took liberties.
Your Odysseus is a butcher.
You watch. My readers will valorize him.
Impossible.
They'll say he had cause. They'll forgive their hero anything.
What about me?
You're a loyal son, a casualty of your father's influence at worst. But you don't have the worst coming to you.
And the maids? You wrote me stringing up 12 maidservants, including Melantho. 12 hangings for...
Promiscuity.
Your readers will forgive me that act?
Son, they will revere that act.
If I stay here on this estate, your readers will expect me to be him, the son you wrote. I don't want to be him.
I don't want you to be him either.
You set me up.
I set you free.
You want me to leave?
You must. Coffee?
Please.
I don't know what to say. I behaved like an infant.
Oh, let's not disparage infants. Infants are lovely.
They are. He was, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
Please forgive me.
Always.
Mother, I'm not going to university.
Very well.
Very well.
Where will you go?
Troy,
Troy.
I can make myself useful then.
Here. Build something. It's a tool, son.
Troy is very far away.
You do plan on returning sometime, don't you?
I do. I promise.
Keep that promise, son, or I'll write a book about you.
I'll make you proud of me.
What does this mean?
Sir,
No need to sir me.
Telemachus is gone.
Your portrayal of that boy has devastated him. You could have left him out of this. What happens next?
In what respect?
This doesn't make sense. The suitors' families are never to exact vengeance on Odysseus. He and Telemachus kill 100 of the most eligible men in the city, and their families have no recourse.
Athena commands forbearance, so the fighting ceases.
Our hero gets everything he wants, and no one living begrudges him his hard-won victory. You don't like it. Odysseus prevails. It's the only possible ending for this story. It's not my best work. But it didn't have to be perfect.
What motivated this compromise?
Experience. I needed this to end. I need all of this to end.
Give us the room.
I'll stay close.
I carry no knives, no blunt objects. Do you fear me?
I don't want to be beaten.
I've never struck you.
Your son did. The day after you re-entered this house.
You raised Telemachus. He's more your son than mine. You gather every evil in the world and deposit the carcasses at my feet like so many dead birds dragged in by the cat, as though you are innocent of the kills. Those of my sex, you protest, conspire to mangle all you hold dear, but I was born of a woman, all men were. It's women who impose their expectations upon men, who shape us to their standards. Women who leave men the dirty work and then hate us for it.
Your mother died grieving your absence, yet you blame her.
You presume to speak of my mother. You presume to tell stories about me, trading on my name.
A woman didn't give Menelaus that hammer.
A woman brought the adulterers to our bed. You broke your vows to me when you abetted her crime, Penelope. Without your failings, there would have been no war.
There will be war wherever men get bored.
I don't relish violence. Menelaus does. I asked you to wait. You published those chapters without my consent.
I don't require your consent.
You put all of our lives at risk.
No. Just your life.
I see. So if I stay, I'll be ruined.
You conspired to bludgeon the wrong woman. I have more stories to tell. If you stay, I'll tell them all. I'll shatter the reputations of the great men I've deified in verse. But I'll keep your secrets if you leave within the hour and never return. Posterity will be kind to your memory. When people hear Odysseus' name, they'll remember a hero.
The Odysseus you invented.
In 50 years, will any other Odysseus exist? Stories create gods, not the other way around. A man concerned with his legacy cannot do better.
And no one will ever know I returned.
You never did. I'll tell them I made it all up. And at last, I will mourn you as dead. Drink a cup with me, husband. We loved each other once. One day, everyone will forget I wrote this book. Some man might take it from me. You've lived the legendary life of Odysseus, and now you're moving on. I remain Odysseus' wife, but I have my stories and my son. And this is my house.
very nice.
You said the best we had. The shawl. Well,
Perfect.
hardly matters. He can't see me. His vision is nearly all gone.
You're resolved, Penelope? You're certain of this course?
There is no course but this. How much do I cut?
Some? Who knows?
Priestesses are expected to know of these matters.
Here. Do me the same favor?
You?
Why not? We're both turning the page.
I can't accept you going.
My staying puts us both at risk. The priesthood gives me an income, and my safety is guaranteed.
But you're not a believer.
It's as you've said. We believe what we must. Come now. Your groom waits for you.
We ought to be petitioning Hera today, not Athena.
Suppose Athena lies smiling at us both from her cold, cold grave. Suppose she was once like us, and now only longs to be known as she is. Libation. Now we wash, and you start your life. Flint-eyed Athena, catalyst of progress. We don't know you. While others invented and invoked you, we ignored you. We assumed, since you sprang from your father's brain, you had no use for ours. We may have been wrong. We beg your pardon. We ask your blessing. We don't presume to know you, Athena. But if you are the mother of art, then let our stories be heard and valued. If you're as cunning as they say, give us the insight to know and do good. Athena, if you're as wise as we hear, grant us steady tempers. Show us the long view. For if you can guide armies to victory, surely you can lead us to a lasting peace.